everyone, and welcome back. It is time for episode 63 of the Rocket Punch Cast, the It's Gonna Be May meme of video game podcast. I am Seth, joined by my usual companions, Mr. Will.
I need you to stop that.
It's May. It's time. It's time. Listen, I just want you to think about that one image. You know which image I'm talking about. You know which one I'm talking about. That's the image.
And it needs to burn in fiery
Is that going to be the
hell.
cover image for our entire episode?
No.
Over everything else we talk about? Just that one picture?
You do that picture, and I will literally purge the website.
I mean, I make the thumbnail. I have the power.
I can go and hit delete.
What if the thumbnail was an animated GIF that was 10 seconds long and one frame of it? It just like flashed to the.
You're not selling this any better
No.
with the GIF than it was with the picture.
It could happen.
No.
You'll never know. Are you going to sit through 10 seconds of watching the thumbnail?
Just because you mentioned it, I'll sit through 30 seconds if I have to make sure it doesn't come
I'm
up.
going to make it a minute. It's going to be a minute.
I'll sit through
long
2
GIF.
hours.
It's going to make our site reliability go through the ground, but it doesn't matter. It's for the GIF. And back from the Shadow Realm, we managed to lure him out over a series of 4 seasons that was combined into 3 seasons when 4 kids did the translation for us. But one of the episodes was too dark. We had to cut it, so it made no sense when we jumped from episode to episode, but it's okay. Cameron's back.
Hello, everyone.
He
I'm
is
back.
alive.
I am.
His soul has been restored to a body. It wasn't his original one, but
It was nice.
No, it's called Dragon Balls, and we gathered the Dragon Balls, and he's back.
we wished him back.
The Shadow Realm was nice. Kind of dark. Evil Kaiba was there from like the first episode of the first season.
Yeah.
He was cool. He really showed me some tips on using my Pot of Greed cards in my deck. So that
Did
was
he
really
tell
cool.
you what that card did? Because it's really important.
Always.
Okay, good.
Always.
Good.
It lets you refresh. Pull 2 cards to refresh your hand.
Yes, to refresh my hand. Anyways, we're not going to talk about the writing of Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. Because that is a dissertation waiting to happen. We're here to talk about video games directly into these microphones. So, Cameron, since you're back,
Yes.
please tell us.
I have been gone for a while.
You've been gone for a while. What have you been playing? What you been doing?
Well, I had nothing to do. I was pretty sick, so got to sit at home for a large chunk of time. And Seth, as you noted earlier when we were out eating, I jumped through a couple of games. I think I did play the Telltale games, Guardians of the Galaxy Episode 1.
Okay, how was that?
That was really cool. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy, then just
at this point, is Telltale or are Telltale games anything that we can expect anything new? Like, of course, the story's going to be good, the characters are going to be what we expect, but
the engine worked. I did not have a single chug or hiccup on the engine. So
I would hope so, because we're running it on next generation hardware now.
I was going to say, it's I've got it on PlayStation 4.
PS4 Pro. It's what it takes. You need the bare minimum to run these games without any chug as the PS4 Pro. You need that power.
The big one, the big thing with the Telltale games and even with Guardians of the Galaxy is that I love those games for the story and like actually going through and listening to the story. The fact I'm a big Marvel fan and it was Guardians anyway, I was like, oh yeah, it's out. Let me play it. But I'm really drawn into the stories. That's why I played The Walking Dead. I need to finish through season 2 of that. I have Batman. I've got the only one I don't think I don't have The Wolf Among Us, which I've heard is really good. Tales from the Borderlands is great. I've got to finish that. But if you're going to play that game, you're playing it for the story. I'll definitely say like some of the cool little choices you have to choose between. Not going to say why, but you have to choose between the Collector and the Nova Corps, and apparently, like, you align yourself with one of those, and sometimes that can divide the team. I can kind of definitely see the story going a route of, like, you as Peter Quill trying to keep the team together.
I'm on whatever team Groot is on.
Team Groot.
Rocket.
Groot was drunk.
Good. Trees can get drunk. Inebriated trees, yes.
There was a nice little section of him in the bathroom. That was really cool.
All right.
But I played that. I finished that, and I was like, man, what else can I play? I've got a couple of games I haven't finished yet. Let me dive a little bit more into Persona 5. And
ShamWow of video games. It just keeps absorbing more and more of your time.
Oh, my God. I am...
How many hours in?
Over 40.
Judgment. I'm judging you. And you probably, finished the tutorial?
I'm in the 4th... I just got into the 4th dungeon.
Oh.
And I've kind of more or less sped through the game a little bit faster. I'm actually starting to slow it down so I can build my level up a little bit more.
Cool. So 4th dungeon of Persona, end of typical Western RPG.
Yeah, actually.
Non-Witcher 3.
Not yet.
Non-Witcher 3 Western RPG. That's not a Western RPG.
Well,
That is.
we're splitting hairs there.
Yeah.
Persona 5 is, I know I talked about it the last time I was on here, continues to be one of the best RPGs of this year, if not one of the best of all time. I've played Persona 4 Golden. I never got to finish that. Persona 5 is making me want to go back, pull up my Vita to play Persona 4 Golden. It's great. I forgot that it was rated M until some of the themes came up in some of the dungeons. Like there are themes of abuse, sexual harassment, like child labor, greed. There's all these like vices and themes that are coming in that you're having to fight. And what the game does so well is that I love going through the dungeons, but I'm also so excited to like, sometimes I'm like, man, okay, I'm done with this dungeon. I've spent enough time in here. I want to go out into the real world and like, I want to go to high school and I want to get my knowledge up or my guts up and go to these events and build these relationships with these other people, or go to work at the convenience store in the evening time so I can get my 3,000 yen for running the cash register. It's so funny. You get weird things that I found in the game. When you get a job, you don't actually have a set schedule. You just kind of show up whenever you want to. So when I go to the convenience store it's only during the day, so after school, and I go and I can just go whenever I want to. Like I'll miss a week's worth of work, and then I'll come in. It's like, hey, I'll do work today. Oh man, you're going to help today? Great, come on back.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because the point is that you're choosing how you build your character, right? Like going to work builds a certain stat. Talking to people builds. That's the thing, right?
You can do like some work you get stats, some don't, but work gets you extra money. You'll get a lot of money that you can use to buy equipment. Building relationships with people will help you build your persona levels, so that way when you create personas and merge them, they'll be stronger. But that whole balance of like, okay, I just got out of school. Do I want to go spend time with Anne and build her relationship with that persona type, or do I want to go spend time with Ryuji and build that relationship type?
Can you join personas with Anne, if you know what I mean?
I'll just say that Anne is a relationship option.
Index finger, thumb emoji.
And I'm
wink.
I'm working quite hard to get Anne as my relationship option.
Good.
It's a lot of effort, as in real relationships, but we're working through it. We're getting there. But in this dungeon, I'm not going to spoil it. Atlas may slap me down with a copyright strike, but
we've already filed for bankruptcy.
Okay.
We just got the letter in. They heard you.
In the 4th dungeon, that's really, the dungeon is not the same as the others, and I'm not going to say why or how, but it's an interesting dynamic, and it was kind of like, this is totally different. This is the reason we're in this dungeon is totally different from the other dungeons that I've been through. But those hooks really get you in, especially after the first dungeon. Yeah, like for people that are interested in Persona 5, I'll definitely say that the first dungeon that's helping you learn the game. After you get out of the first dungeon, by that time, you'll learn enough of the mechanics that, okay, I know what I need to do. And it does a very good job of kind of piecemealing you, like, oh, here's a new thing you can do here. Here's a new thing you can do here. But yeah, I've built, I think all of my stats are at like rank 3 right now. So there's more people I can talk to. I've got 2 different jobs.
Is that how real life works? You like walk up to someone and I haven't developed enough of a certain skill, so like when I talk to them, it's just gibberish.
Well,
you don't have enough skill to talk to me. Please go level
Or
up.
what if they speak
potentially like there's one character who I couldn't talk to until my charm rating was up to like level 2 or level 3, and then it's like, I'll talk to you now.
I actually got an answer for you, Seth. Foreign languages.
Yeah. Sure. I haven't seen that stat in my wheel yet, but cool.
Well, I'm saying as an example.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it may sound like gibberish to them.
But it's stuff like if you study at home or at the library, your knowledge builds up. There's an event at night where if you go to this restaurant and take this big burger challenge, you'll get whether you win it or not, you'll get guts.
Don't you lose guts during that challenge?
Depends on the sandwich. There's kindness, so like I can go rent a DVD on like this sappy melodrama, and if I watch it, they're like, man, I learned a lot about kindness from this movie, and it'll build my kindness up. There's charm, and then what's the fifth one? Proficiency. So like if I make tools, there's one part where like one of my teachers every once in a while she'll let me slack off in class, and so I can sit there and make infiltration tools like lockpicks and stuff. And that'll build my proficiency. Like, oh man, you did a really good job, and build your proficiency up.
Oh, so that's cool.
In those stats, you have to work with those stats because those stats are needed for certain relationships, certain events and stuff. You can't go through unless you have a certain level stat as well. It's really good. If you're a fan of RPGs in any shape, form, or fashion, go play Persona 5. I can't stop playing the game. I like it. They finally got the soundtrack out on iTunes. I was like, yes, download the songs now. Mm-hmm. I can't. We listened to it right before the episode. I love that game. Again, whether it's too early or not, and we're not going to go into too much depth on it, that this game will be in Game of the Year talks. 100%. 100%.
We're not even halfway through this year. And we have multiple contenders.
We'll see.
Man, it's going to be a bloodbath this year.
Yes, it will be. I've been hearing already the term 2017, the year of too many games.
Oh, I've heard that too.
I've been hearing that a lot. Just because I think the indie scene, the adrenaline that you shove straight into your heart, I believe has finally hit the indie scene. And like the success of the games from 2 or 3 years ago, everyone started their passion projects. Now everyone's finishing them, right?
Yeah.
And we're starting to see a wave of that.
The fruit of that labor, as it were. But
what about you, Will?
That was my big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we are in North Alabama. I finally got to go back to the gun range. That's for the first time this year.
You mean you hadn't been?
This year.
Oh, this year. Okay. Like, even then,
I've had stuff come up, man.
It's May. We're in the 5th month of this year, and you haven't been in the gun range yet.
It's okay. I'm going every week now. So
I was going to say that's uncharacteristically not like you.
That's fine. It's back. No, as far as game stuff, Mario Kart 8. That game is
Talk to me about that. I have not gotten it yet. Talk to me about 8.
No. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, whatever what they want to call the Switch version. Let's be real. It's Mario Kart 8 on the Switch.
Now, is it better than the Wii U version?
Yes and no. Okay. Yes, because I can take a little console to work, plop it on the break table, and say, hey, Kyle, here. And we can sit there, and he can beat my ass in Mario Kart. And then we can we had like 5 people passing around Joy-Cons.
That's cool.
So I can't believe the term Joy-Con actually stuck. Like, we actually still call them, we don't call them Switch controllers. They are called Joy-Cons. Good job, Nintendo marketing. You did it.
I mean, to be fair, what else am I going to call that little thing?
A Switch controller.
No, Switch controller is what I.
But no, it sounds Joy-Con sounds better. It's we are victims of the marketing machine. We are simply sheep to them.
Switch controller is too many syllables. Like,
exactly. Joy-Con.
I can just say Joy-Con. It's
exactly.
Done. Yeah, no, but it was actually fun because I was able to take about 30 minutes of my lunch break, and we were just sitting there playing Mario Kart. So it was a pretty solid blast. The fact that I can literally every day have it at work on lunch. Cool. Big bonus.
Now I've heard that the battle mode in this is like a proper battle mode. Have you had a chance to play that yet?
I haven't yet. We were too busy racing in the Mushroom Cup.
Well, yeah, because it includes all the DLC.
Yeah,
plus some more.
Is it all unlocked at the start, or do you have to unlock it again?
I didn't see any riders that were locked.
Yeah, it's all unlocked from the start. Mm-hmm.
That's nice. I appreciate that. That's nice, especially for people who've already played.
I've heard that they have this auto drive feature that's automatically turned on. Like if you just press A, it will drive itself.
I haven't seen that, but I was seeing people like using the actual Joy-Cons to turn.
You should try the motion. You should try. Like don't do anything. Just press A and it will auto drive.
That's weird.
Like it will still let you control if you press the buttons, but it will auto drive. So you can give it to like your really young kids, but they have that turned on by default apparently, which is weird.
That's interesting.
Huh.
You
I'm gonna
won't
find
notice
out if I can turn that off. Just
Well,
to
yeah,
make
you
sure
can
no
turn it
one's
off. It's
cheating.
an option. It's just one of those things where it's in the options. It's like auto drive or easy drive or something, and it's on by default. So like you won't notice it unless you stop steering and you notice, oh wow, it's actually still steering for me,
Yeah, no me gusta on that front then.
making you think you're better than you are.
No, I lost pretty badly compared to some of the people I work with. So, yeah.
I played one round with friends from work. Was in first place for the first 2.5 laps. Then 3 red shells later, I was in 4th place. It was great. Mario Kart. I was like, great. I'm playing Mario Party.
The gift that keeps on giving.
It's the gift that keeps. It's not. This isn't even Mario.
Just be happy. You could have gotten blue shelled, and then those 4 shells.
I would have rather been blue shelled because that's one. That's one shell. These were 3 red shells.
Right, I'm saying you could have gotten blue shelled and then 3 red shells, and just been last.
Fuck Mario Kart.
No. Mario Kart's good. You should go buy it and play it. Give Nintendo all the money. All of it.
I heard it's the most popular, or it's the highest selling video game on Amazon so far this year.
Yeah, which is crazy.
So,
That's
yeah.
so.
When you consider everything that's come out.
Yeah, that's
Including
really
Mass
really
Effect.
weird. Mass Effect, Horizon, Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah, it's just that's really weird to hear.
Oh yeah, more Switch stuff to come for sure. Anything else?
Nah, man. I'm
Now
good
what you
right
got to
now.
do is you got to shoot the guns from the Mario Kart.
They may have some legal issues with that.
Mario in front of you, you're Luigi. Just pull out the shotgun. Terminator 2, that shit.
Now I'm getting flashbacks of that Flash Gets YouTube
Oh,
video
yeah.
with Mario Kart and had Kratos.
Oh god, yeah. That
yeah.
was dark.
That was super dark.
That was super duper dark.
You know what? I enjoyed that video though.
Oh, it was great. I'm surprised Mario hasn't capitalized on that. Hey, we've got a special dark mode.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Oh no, they're waiting for Mario Party for that one.
Treehouse would get a call. Treehouse would get a call from corporate.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm very sure about that. All right, so I've been playing video games this week. Two of note. One I played very briefly, but I just want to talk about it real quick. Darksiders 2. I got the Definitive.
Yeah.
Darksiders 2
Definitive.
Definitive.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
I got the remaster of Darksiders 2.
There you go.
And it was in the Humble Bundle. It was super cheap to get that in Darksiders. I beat Darksiders 1. It was super fun. I never beat Darksiders 2. I maybe played it for about 2 hours.
I'm still have to be. I've played for a couple of hours. I
Yeah.
went through pretty far. I just haven't finished it.
So I started playing that, and I know that they've already said that Darksiders 3 will be a thing eventually. I'm glad that it is. Like, that game was marketed abysmally. Like, it really should have been. That's one of those games where I would want to see the TV commercial and the first quote be pulled from like GameSpot. It's like the best Zelda game that's not a Zelda game, or something like. They need to use the word Zelda to market this game because it's very much a Zelda game, but it looks nothing like Zelda. But I guess not anymore because Zelda's an open world.
Well, people know what you're talking about.
But
when they
yeah,
say
you know
so.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
So I played Darksiders. That was pretty cool. But the main thing I've been playing is Puyo Puyo Tetris. Listen, people, this is the actual battle game. Everyone's all like, Mario Kart is the ultimate challenge with your friends. No, dude. Puyo Puyo Tetris.
I didn't even know that came out yet.
Puyo Puyo Tetris has been around for a long time. It has been a nightmare to bring over here because, surprisingly enough, the Tetris license is a nightmare in the
Really?
US. Yeah, the Tetris license is weird. So, like, this game came out for Switch and PS4, but there's no digital version on PS4 because someone else owns the digital rights to Tetris on the PlayStation 4. So you can buy it digitally or physically on the Switch.
What?
Physically is $40, digitally is $30. And then PlayStation 4 you can buy it physically for $30. It's super weird. Tetris is fucked up in the US, people. Okay, it is like a messed up. When you think about all the mobile ports and everything, like there's just
Yeah.
it's just a web of confusing copyright mess. However, this game is amazing. Puyo Puyo plays very similarly to Dr. Mario, kind of, but instead of like Dr. Mario, the pills, like if you turn a pill sideways and then it lands on something, it stays there, right? With Puyo Puyo, the Puyo, whatever's dangling over the ledge will fall all the way down.
Okay.
So it kind of has everything will fall to the bottom. Gravity applies. You have to, match groups of 4. You rotate them, all kinds of craziness stuff. And then Tetris, right? So the fun here is that you can switch between these two. So you can do a battle mode where, like, I'm playing Tetris and you're playing Puyo Puyo. But some of the most fun modes are the ones that blend them or mix them up. So there's one that is like a hybrid mode where sometimes you'll get what are they called? Tetraminos?
What?
I think that's what they're called. The blocks themselves are called tetraminos.
Okay, I don't even know.
Sometimes you'll get a tetramino, or sometimes you'll get a Puyo Puyo. And so, like, the tetraminos, they squish all the Puyos that they land on and fall all the way to the bottom, but you're still trying to line them up, right, to make Tetris so you knock out the row. But then the Puyo Puyos will fall back down from the top. Whatever ones get smushed will fall back down to the top. So you kind of have to line it up.
That's interesting.
It's a really interesting mode, but my favorite mode is definitely the Switch mode. Not to be confused with a Nintendo Switch, but like the Switch mode is where literally you'll play 30 to 60 seconds on one, and then it will switch to the other. So it's like, now you're playing Tetris for 3 or 4 pieces, then you switch to Puyo Puyo for 3 or 4
that's
pieces.
interesting.
And the bigger combo, the battle component of this is the bigger combo you get, the more garbage blocks it will put on the other person's screen, right? So
okay.
If I get a Tetris, right, it'll put like 4 blocks of garbage at the bottom of your Tetris line, which makes it really hard for you because it's more likely that you'll lose, right?
Yep.
So you have to clear those lines. Same with Puyo Puyo. If I land a big Puyo Puyo combo, it will drop a bunch of garbage Puyos down, which can really fuck you up because usually you're building combos from the top down, unlike Tetris where you're building from the bottom up. So
yeah.
It's very, very cool. I'm so glad this game is finally out in the US, though, because it is super fun. I was kind of torn between the PS4 version or the Switch version. I landed on digital for the Switch.
That's probably the best choice.
Because it's a great portable game.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
It's such a fun portable game. And then I can just pop the Joy-Cons out. I can hand you a Joy-Con. I'll have a Joy-Con. Boom, we're in battle mode.
Yeah, I feel like with the Switch, that's going to be a lot of games that are multi-platform. It's going to come down to that, and like, do I want the portability of the Switch, or do I just want it on my home console?
Yeah. And what's great is it goes all the way up to 4 players.
Oh,
so you can get crazy with this game.
That's pretty cool.
I also obtained this game, so we may have some things to do here.
Oh, cool.
I'll be happy to destroy you.
Hey man, I've been playing Tetris for decades.
I played with my girlfriend yesterday, and she experienced the fury of my Tetris powers, man. I am a powerful Tetris master.
I've been playing Tetris for more than 20 years. Bring it.
Wow, good. Congratulations, you met the bare minimum to be a human in the year 2015.
I'm just saying, bring it.
I hear a challenge.
We'll see. This sounds like a stream. This sounds like a stream that needs to happen and it needs to be concluded. So you can head over to twitch.tv/RocketPunchLive. Go ahead and follow us, because one day
it'll happen.
This.
We'll
settle this on the fields of Puyo and the fields of Tetris. See, I'm not even that good at Puyo. I'm going to beat you at Puyo. You'll be playing Tetris, your strong arm. I'll be playing with a handicap over on Puyo. Boom, wrecked.
Ooh, wow, man.
You think that now. And then all of a sudden, magic shotgun appears.
There's no shotguns. This game is rated E for everyone.
Are you sure about that?
It's a lot of fun.
No game is truly E for everyone.
It's a great value, because even if you don't know much about Puyo Puyo, you can just play battle mode and play Tetris. I think that some of the best moments come from mixing them up, but at the end of the day, if you just want to play a battle Tetris game, it's a Tetris battle game. You can do it.
Surprise.
Listen, I want you to know that I lined up 3 Tetrises in like a 4 to 5 turn period. Like, it was brutal what I did. It was brutal what I was doing. I had the Tetrises prepared. I had held the line piece, and I saw 2 more line pieces were coming up, so I lined it up, baby. That line piece, Tetris, and then it was just garbage blocks across the whole screen. I was like, "You done? Final step: admit defeat.
Finish him.
Yep." So
she'll get revenge. She will get her revenge on you.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. She did right after that. She's very good at Pokemon Puzzle League, which is not the same as Puyo Puyo, but with similar mechanics. It's more about tile swapping than rotating and dropping, but she got the mind for it. So I did get my ass kicked up more than I kicked her ass. So that's a skill check for me. But anyways, we have been doing some awesome stuff here at Rocket Punch. We're about to move into our topic of the day, which is going to be Switch related. First, though, we need to highlight that everything is ad-free now. All the ads are gone.
Yay.
We talked about this a little while back. I want to re-emphasize it. We took ads off RocketPunchGo.com. We took ads off of all of our YouTube videos. You can now watch everything ad-free all the time. I think with the exception of 4 videos that were
we don't
all
have any
Nintendo related. I think 1 Microsoft video.
Yeah.
Those have copyright things on them, but other than that, everything is ad-free. We have moved to all of our support being focused around Patreon. That's patreon.com/rocketpunch. So if you want access to cool bonus stuff, bonus episodes of the Rocket Punch cast, Tank and Spank, we have exclusive first looks at things. We have communication. We have Discord rewards, special Discord channels, all of that stuff. Even physical swag can be yours as little as $1 a month. So patreon.com/rocketpunch helps us support the show, helps us keep our equipment up and running, keep our site up and running, helps us get what we need to make the show better and to add new shows and new cool things. So we've got E3 coming up. We're really excited. We're in the pre-planning stages of that. But you can go ahead and support us now and get access to tons of behind-the-scenes and exclusive content at patreon.com/rocketpunch. Beyond that, you can always go to rocketpunchgo.com.
Of course.
That's where all of our content lives. Newest episodes of all of our shows up at the top. News, videos, all that good stuff down below there. That's where you go. That's all you need to know. Let's talk about the Nintendo Switch. There have been a couple of things Nintendo-related happen this week, and I think this was a good time to kind of check in on the Switch. We talked about it a little bit.
It has been a while.
It's been a little while. It's been about a month, and we've got some stats.
It's been more than that.
Been a little bit more than a month, yeah.
2 months. It was early March, wasn't
It
it?
was early March, yeah, you're right. It's been about 2 months. So we have some stats. Everyone loves stats. But I think these stats are really revealing, and then we're going to talk a little bit about where Nintendo is heading from this point forward with the Switch. So the big one, I think, is the Switch is the most popular Nintendo console ever. It's the fastest selling ever. More than the Wii, which is awesome. They sold 2.74 million units in less than a month. To put this in perspective, that is 20% of the Wii U's entire lifetime sales over 4 years.
That's crazy.
In 1 month. Huge boost.
Yeah, it's super crazy.
Again, what I said before, Zelda game, Mario game, sells Nintendo consoles. They announced a Zelda game, a Mario game for this Nintendo console, so it's going to do great. But interestingly enough, they sold more copies of Zelda than they did actual Switches.
About 200,000 more.
About 200,000 more. My only theory is collector's editions that people got because they couldn't get a Switch, but they wanted
That's the only thing I can think of. And they're just waiting for Switches to come back in stock at their respective areas.
Either that or multiple copies, like one for...
One to play, one to hang on to.
So, I don't know.
It's weird, but yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of a game that did that.
A 101% attachment rate. That's great numbers.
That's great to put on
that to the investors.
On a board somewhere.
Our attachment rate is higher than ever. It's definitely not a Wii Sports situation all over again.
No, because that was minimum $60 buy-in. Not the Wii Sports.
That's
true.
Yeah,
we're giving it to you.
And I mean, this is real because it's not a pack-in. Zelda was not a pack-in.
No, there's no bundled.
Which tells us that 2.76 million was driven by Zelda. That game drove those console sales.
Yep. Very much.
Super important to keep in mind. So we got a couple of cool games coming up this year. Super Mario Odyssey way later. Splatoon 2, ARMS. We've already got some good ones like 1-2 Switch. We've got a new Bomberman game. Of course, Zelda. Puyo Puyo Tetris. All kinds of cool stuff. So we're going to talk about that game catalog and what that looks like in a little bit. But first, I want us to reflect on, now that we're about 2 months into the Switch, what does the next year or two look like for the Switch? Specifically, you had mentioned Mario Kart, right?
Yeah.
So we got Mario Kart Deluxe, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is awesome. I think that it is selling bonkers. It's Amazon's top-selling game this year. It is a remake of a Wii U game, right? I know that it is highly likely we're going to get Super Smash Bros. Deluxe.
Probably.
That
with
will
all the DLC.
I feel like that will be a thing with DLC. That will probably coincide with some kind of crazy GameCube classic controller. I don't know. I feel like that would be where you roll out like
the relaunch of the Wavebird.
I don't know how you do that unless it's wireless, but
that's why I said the Wavebird relaunch.
Oh man.
Well, actually, no. They got a USB-C adapter on the dock. USB-C to right there.
8 GameCube controller ports. I mean, USB-C has the power; it could do it.
Yeah,
so
it totally can.
So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see kind of what that looks like. But my question is we know Super Mario Odyssey is a new IP.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else we know about so far, first party, is kind of remakes. I count Splatoon 2 as a remake because it is kind of like it's more Splatoon, but
it's very hard. It's probably not as different.
It's not very different. They added like 2 new weapons.
They have. I'm sure there are more weapons,
maps and whatnot, and modes.
But like, especially like when people think of like sequels, it's not like, oh my god, this is you can tell this is number 2. It still very much kind of feels like the first one.
Yeah. I'm just glad the Splat Battles are back, and I'm sad that the Miiverse is gone for those, because Splat Battles on Miiverse were the best. I have never laughed harder than I have from the SpongeBob versus Patrick Splat Battle on the Miiverse. It was great. My favorite one was it was Patrick with Dio's face, and it was me, Dio, and I was just like, this is art. This is real art. This is burn the Lou down. Put this up. Louvre is replaced with this.
Just that frame.
Just that frame. That single frame. So it's going to be fun to get in. But I am afraid that over the next 2 years, we're going to get a lot of that. We're going to get a lot of Wii U relaunches. So I want us to talk about that for real quick. And really, if that's the case, is that a bad thing? What are our thoughts?
Well, I may not like having to buy some of the games again, but the benefit here would be, and hear me out, I can then give those to my little sister and don't have to buy another Wii U version. She can be like, here, you just take the Wii U and all that stuff. I'll get my Switch and I'll move forward. Downside is, that means I got to shell out, 60 bones a pop again?
Yeah. They're going to be $60 because they're on a cartridge, and of course that costs more money.
Well, unless you do digital download.
Which still is going to cost you $60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take your pill. Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel.
We've
about
given
this,
you the
really.
freedom to choose how you'll give us $60.
Yeah, right? For me, I'm kind of screwed. You're kind of in the same boat here. Cam, he missed the Wii U generation, so...
Yeah, the one Nintendo console that I actually never purchased with the Wii U. I don't know. I think that it's good in the sense that if they do that with a lot of their first-party games, there are a lot of gems from the Wii U era that can get some more limelight on the Switch. Honestly, if nothing else, I would just want Wind Waker HD re-released on the Switch.
See, I feel like that's one of the few games that won't get the...
Yeah, I don't think it will, because I don't know how they're going to do, like, however you used the gamepad. But at that other thing, the game originally came out on the GameCube.
You didn't use the gamepad. That was the thing with that game, is it had the map and you could change items, but that's
about it.
You could not use that. You could press the pause button and still change out items that way. It was very... I would love that. Yes, that would be awesome.
Because I think that was one of the great hidden gems. But also games like Super Mario 3D Land and stuff like that. And then maybe that goes into a bigger question of should that be something where instead of remastering those, they just make that's another thing to talk about. Bring the Virtual Console up and then have like a Wii U section of the Virtual Console that people can purchase and download old Wii U games that plays on their Switch. I don't know.
I would rather not have that. Like, if they're going to bring... I think the Virtual Console card is best played with GameCube. Like, say, we're bringing GameCube games back. Boy, Nintendo, listen.
They better have Melee on there.
Do you want to know where to put the money?
Sunshine.
If you do a Super Smash Brothers Melee... Like, I feel like if they come out and they say, we have the GameCube adapter for USB-C, and they say Smash Deluxe Edition, Smash 4 Deluxe, and we're rolling out the Virtual Console with Melee with full compatibility. Where would you put the money? Where would you put all of your money? I don't know where all the money would go.
Maybe I'm just... Yeah, I mean, everybody loves Melee. I just love Super Smash in general. But also the same, like... I think if they do that within the first year or two, the only reason is because developers haven't had a chance to make games for the Switch. Like, when did the dev kits go out for the Switch? Maybe like 6 to 9 months before the console was actually released. Maybe it was not long before the console's released that those.
Now, to be fair, like they've got like 70-something games total confirmed for 2017, and like 90% of those are ports.
Oh yeah, there's a large amount of ports. There are some new titles. You got ARMS, which is completely new, and that's first party. Yep. You've got, if you remember the Indie Showcase, that Nintendo Direct, they had a couple of brand new indie games that are Wargroove. I mean, come on, looks at Will, like, come on, dude. But also, there were a lot of ports on like games that people have already played or could play on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One,
like Xenoverse 2.
Yeah, I mean that they're going to roll in and bring on, but I don't necessarily blame them, especially if I don't think developers have had the time to build their games and these brand new experiences on the Switch, because they just didn't get the dev kits in time. They probably had maybe a year max that they had the dev kits, and like, we're not going to make a good game in a year. But I don't want that to happen on the Switch. But then again, that happened with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and a lot of other generations before, when those, maybe not a lot, but like probably it kind of started around the PS3, Xbox 360 generation, where you saw a lot, at least that first year, maybe two, you saw a lot of remakes. A lot more so than new games. You know, How many Game of the Year editions did we get on the PlayStation 4? Last of Us Remastered, DMC Game of the Year edition,
Borderlands,
Tomb Raider. Like, for that first year, it was just like these, which gamers don't want to see. Maybe it's just us as gamers in general that we're just being greedy, and every time we want something new, we want brand new experiences right out of the gate. But some people don't really understand
Unless
the time.
you're Gearbox, then we just want more Borderlands.
There you
Make
go.
that distinction.
But maybe some gamers don't realize the work and the back end on the development side that goes into making these games. Like companies like Microsoft don't just make a brand new console and say, okay, this is going to be our console. Let's go ahead and give all of our developers time to build this game. We'll give them 3 to 4 years a leeway out. No, these are like, by the time you have hardware and dev kits, it's like 1 to 2 years out before before the console's actually released.
Yeah, maybe,
yeah. And I just like, it's maybe us as gamers are being too greedy, was trying to get new games right out of the gate. But I also understand, and even talk about the Switch. Re-releasing those are games that people didn't play. Like, only 13 million people bought Wii U's. So the Wind Waker HD, Super Mario 3D Land, with the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, like all these games are quote unquote trapped on the Wii U, unless you can find a used Wii U, which I'm sure you can.
It's
if
like
you look
a sinking ship.
Yeah,
it's the Titanic of video games.
Oh, ouch!
Wow, man.
You're trapped.
And years later, they'll go down and recover the wreckage. Like, man, look at these gems that were down here. But like bringing those back, like I said, if anything, I have not played Wind Waker since I had my GameCube, and I would love to go back and play that game again. I loved Wind Waker. And even like Super Mario 3D Land, I've remember, or 3D World, I guess that was the console version. Going back and playing that, because I've seen clips of that, and it was really cool. And just, it's a Super Mario game. And seeing all these games that people like, if the Wii U's Achilles heel was no third-party support. Almost every first-party game that came out on the Wii U was gold. Yeah, like what Bayonetta 2 wasn't a Wii U game. It's on PC now, so people are actually getting a chance to enjoy that.
Oh, I thought they just brought Bayonetta.
That was Bayonetta 1.
Yeah. Oh, was it 2?
Yeah,
yeah. 2 was funded by Nintendo, so that ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
It may come to the Switch.
And I don't. As a gamer, number one, I guess two things. As a gamer, I understand that within the first year, sometimes we may get some of those re-releases. We're going to get some new stuff. It may only be like indie stuff, maybe some third parties that jump on board pretty quick. We're like some of the first party stuff. I'm not going to. I mean, we got fucking Breath of the Wild. What the. Calm the fuck down. We're like 6 months.
I get that, but also that game has been in development for 7 years and was supposed to come out 3 years ago. So
I mean, that was
kind of.
I think they got lucky with that. That game was supposed to come out on the Wii U.
I think that the blood of that game's delay is the Wii U, because when let's say that came out in year 2 of the Wii U. The Wii U would have sold 40 million units. Like the 2.4 million Zelda copies that were sold. That's a 100% attachment rate on a new console. Imagine if the console had been out for 2 years and was $200.
Yeah,
they would have sold so many Wii U's if that had come out when it was supposed to. They didn't know. They delayed it because they saw the Wii U wasn't doing great. But the Wii U, it's a cycle. It's like the Wii U wasn't doing great because there was no Zelda game, but there was no Zelda game because the Wii U wasn't doing great.
This endless circle.
It's this endless circle.
The circle of life.
So that
perhaps?
just means we need a new Zelda game every year. I'm joking.
Yeah, especially after this precedent they've set with this one.
Oh yeah.
Large open world. It's just hunk 'em out every
just
year.
reskin, baby.
Reskin that shit.
You
Yeah,
just
click the Twilight Princess, export as Twilight Princess. Boom, we're done.
I was about to say that you just go into the engine, export art aspects as this, and
It'll
right?
be Nintendo's Madden. You have 9 months to make the next year's game. It's just Zelda 2017, Zelda 2018. Yeah, that's it.
So I have some thoughts.
Okay.
My theory is yes, the next 2 years will be wrought with Wii U remakes. Those will include the following. I've compiled a list for you. Super Mario Maker.
They will,
That will be brought back.
Yes.
I even imagine that would be like a deluxe edition where they
Super Mario Maker Deluxe.
Deluxe is where, and they're going to probably, if I were to guess, my inner heart says please add Super Mario Brothers 2 assets into it, but I know better than that. I'm not going to get Phanto in the game because Lord knows that the only thing that those hellish Mario Maker crafters need is a fucking Phanto in the game. Anyways, that game will be back for sure. I think Smash is a given. Smash is coming back for sure. I don't know that Super Mario 3D World will make the cut with Odyssey. Like, Odyssey is kind of what they're going to push for Mario. Yeah. But as far as... I want Wind Waker to come, but...
You know you do!
Come on! The idea of playing Wind Waker on the go...
Imagine being on an airliner, playing Wind Waker with some headphones on.
I mean, I think that Breath of the Wild's probably a more... I think that game is more fleshed out. There's more to do in there, but Wind Waker is Wind Waker. That's my favorite Zelda game. Like, I just fucking pirates. Pirates make everything better. Listen, pirates make everything better. I've said it. I'll always say it. Pirates make everything better.
You must be a One Piece fan.
I don't even know. I've maybe watched like 2 episodes of One Piece. I don't know anything about One Piece, but I know the pirates are awesome.
They were the 4Kids version too.
That crazy rap song. Oh god, that's all I know about One Piece is that rap intro.
Yeah,
that was so bad. God.
Talk about the games.
Sorry,
please get us.
We're talking about more games. I'm trying to think. Trying to think about what games I have.
I know there was Tropical Freeze.
Oh yeah, Tropical Freeze. That will be
Twilight Princess HD. I don't think they're going to bring that back.
Nope.
I don't think they're going to bring that back.
You know what? They'll probably do the what did Monosoft make again? I can't remember.
Xenosaga or Xenoblade?
No, they'll do a new Xenoblade before they port an old one.
The Wii U one.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Yeah, they like to have those as like those are like cult games.
We're gonna get a new Monster Hunter. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna.
I'm surprised it hasn't been announced yet.
In other news, water is wet.
Yeah.
Sadly, I think there are going to be a lot of those. Now, what Nintendo's doing now that they didn't do on the Wii U is they're really fostering indie support better than ever before.
Well, they're also on a ARM processor that's easier to develop on because everybody knows how to code for an iPhone and an Android phone at this point.
They knew one of their big mistakes from the Wii U generation, and it was
CPU architecture.
It was third-party support.
No, I mean, the architecture to code on.
Their big issue was the word Wii. That was the word. That was the issue with the Wii U.
But also think like, were there any indie games on the Wii U?
Yeah, there weren't many, but there were
Shovel
some.
Knight was originally a Wii U game.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
That was Wii U 3DS first.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, It was. But again, that game found its legs when it came over to the PS4 and Xbox One and started porting out to other systems.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course they grew, but it was like I remember playing on Wii U. I remember getting the amiibo, the Shovel Knight amiibo for co-op. That was awesome, and they just relaunched under the Treasure Trove, I think is what it's called. So like now that those features are for everyone, but I mean for 2 years they've been they've been locked to Wii U. Like co-op Shovel Knight was Wii U exclusive, which was pretty crazy. So here's another question. So here you go. You're like, oh man, it's easy now. Nintendo's just going to pour all the resources into the Switch, right? It's just great. The Switch is now the king. Switch is awesome. Switch is awesome. And then you're like, you know what? We got another announcement for you. You're going to love it. And we're like, oh shit, they got more Switch announcements. Oh, what games are they bringing to the Switch this time? They say, we've got, hold on here, buckle up. The new Nintendo 2DS XL. Out of fucking left field of left field. There's another not 3DS, 2DS.
There wasn't even a 2DS XL before this, but it's new.
This is the equivalent of the random streaker dude jumping on the baseball field and running across like at some random Cubs game somewhere at some point in time. I have no idea why this exists.
Oh, I know exactly why it exists. Like, when I saw it, I was like, this is genius. This is genius. This is for everyone who had, I will tell you exactly who this is for. This is for everyone who owns the gold Nintendo 3DS XL that was shipped with the Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds, because they sold badonkles of those consoles. I have it. My girlfriend has it. I know a ton of people who have the gold with the Triforce on it.
Yeah.
But when the new Nintendo 3DS came out, they were like, oh, it's great, enhanced 3D, eye tracking. And we were like, we don't care. Like, we love our Nintendo, like our Triforce Nintendo 3DS. Well, then a couple months went by, games took advantage of this, and games were running better on it. Mm-hmm. And now they've come out with this, and they're like, yep, we dropped the 3D no one cared about. So
what's funny is that one of the things they pushed for the new system was that there were going to be a slew of new games that took advantage of the extra processing power. The only game I know of that takes advantage of that is what, Xenoblade?
Yeah.
That's it. That's literally the only game.
And the games run better. Like Sun and Moon run better.
Yeah, they run better on those systems, but a lot of the times, if you're strapped for cash, are you going to give a damn?
Also, there are some virtual console titles that only run on those.
The Super Nintendo ones.
That's the kicker one. Yeah, as I played Super Mario World and Super Metroid this week.
Here's your Super Mario World machine, 149. I will say this about this thing. It is probably one of the most beautiful Nintendo hardware
so good.
creations since, I would say, the Nintendo 3... What was it? The Nintendo DS Lite. The Nintendo DS Lite.
That's what it reminds me of.
Was it very reminiscent of that? It was, the original DS was horrendous. It was pretty bad.
That big, fat, gray-looking thing.
Yeah, and then the DS Lite was that it was basically a perfect rectangle.
There were no...
Yeah, sleek clamshell.
It was so nice. And they went away from that with the 3DS and all these new combinations of 3, 2, D, and S, and X, and L's, and all of this the new word is in there. That's the new console.
Air quotes new. They have quotes
they
on the
quotes.
new.
They do.
It's probably the most beautiful. The only downside I saw is that they did lose the custom plates, which I thought were a really nice touch from the new 3DS.
Yeah, well, that's the only console that ever had it. The 3DS XL didn't even have it.
Yeah, it would have been like cool to see at least like the front plate, maybe replaceable or whatever. But still, this thing's beautiful. It's like black and blue.
This it actually has a little door for your game cartridge and your SD card. So I know for 3DS XL owners, you don't have to take screws and pop the back off to put the SD card in. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know where this came from, and I don't know what. I took a trip this weekend. I was out of town, and I kind of understand maybe their strategy is like, how is the Switch and their mobile strategy with the 3DS and the 2DS gonna play? Because this weekend I went over to my grandmother's house, but I took my 3DS XL. I didn't take my Switch.
What's wrong with you, man?
It was.
Well, he was going to be there for more than 3 hours. He needed to carry something that could last.
Maybe that's the case. I sat down. I played Super Mario World. I played Super Metroid. I got stuck in Super Metroid, so I played Kirby.
Where'd you get stuck in Super Metroid?
I'm in Brinstar. I'm at the bottom, and there's this lane with these things that jump on you and these spikes that I can't find a way to get back up. I have a path. We'll talk after the episode.
Okay.
But I played Kirby, Planet Robobot, and I played some Fire Emblem.
That's the real answer right there, Kirby. That's why you took it.
God, Kirby. But maybe I didn't fully understand. I grabbed him like, man, I haven't played it in a while, and that's going to last me a little bit longer. I'm going to be gone for a little bit, and there are a couple of games on there. I didn't want to take my super expensive Switch console out because I knew I was going to be doing other things at my grandmother's house, and that was a little bit easier to carry because I knew I wasn't going to be there for a long time. Now, maybe if I'd been there for like a couple of days, maybe a week, well, okay, back the Switch. Give me playing some Zelda, put that on the table. But for maybe that's one of the keys there. But I agree. Like, I don't know how the 2DS XL or even just like their handheld strategy fits into the Nintendo's larger landscape with the Switch. So, like, are those going to be like, these are for the kids and the Switch is for the big kids and the adults? Are they going to get Are they going to get rid of the 3DS and the 3D capabilities? Like the 2DS XL, that's the new hotness. That's what you want. Like, what do you guys think?
I think they're over 3D. I think they're over that. This is a blatant play. I think this is also the beginning of their exit strategy from the handheld, like the 3DS market, the DS market per se, because I don't see another DS happening. I don't see another Nintendo dual screen handheld like that. Not with the Switch on the market. What this looks like to me is they wanted to push battery life. I'm sure at this point Nintendo's concluded their market research that says a lot of people don't use the 3D. Like I think they found that out. They said we can redesign this thing, make it beautiful, make it look good and slim and fit in the pocket. You notice it's the 2DS XL, which is the most popular console in America, versus in Japan the 3DS is actually more popular, the smaller version.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is made for the American audience because they don't use 3D. There's already a huge library of games. They're not going to be making new DS games, I don't think. I think that they just wanted to focus on getting something out that's pretty affordable.
There hasn't been anything announced for 3DS. Any new games?
No, there's not. But there's like hundreds of good games out there.
There's several thousand games out there.
Yeah, like
right now.
Three great Pokemon games. The back catalog even past, from the DS era.
Like you mentioned it earlier, Link Between Worlds, the Fire Emblem games.
Two Fire Emblem games with Echoes that just came out.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet. Okay,
I have that pre-ordered. I'm going to talk about that when I get.
Okay,
that.
yeah. So like that's coming. I just think that this is them getting ready to, like, in space, you like that initial thrust that then carries you, like the telescope that we send out. We just give it that initial boost and then it just goes on forever.
Oh yeah.
This is their initial boost. This is us preparing to not give a fuck about the handheld market, but we're going to at least make some money, right? I am super considering this.
I am as well, actually, because if the battery goes up, I never use my 3D anyway. I have that special edition.
Well, you guys are considering getting the 2DS?
I'm considering
wow.
it. Yeah, I'm considering it because
my main thing would be battery life. If the battery's an extra 2 hours or so, then that's worth it. And I have the Monster Hunter 4 Special Edition one.
We don't have a Pokemon game on the Switch yet, so I need something from a Pokemon machine.
This man is right.
There is no Pokemon that I can play on the screen yet.
I guess for me, I already have a new Nintendo 3DS, so there. Like, I see.
See, I think this is for people who don't have a new Nintendo 3DS.
I have one, and I'm still considering it over what I have.
You're a crazy man with too much money.
No, I have a special edition that I can sell for more than I.
Wait, the Monster Hunter one? Is the new one?
It was the first new one.
Yeah, that's right, because it was that one. Another console. It was the Majora's Mask one. I think.
I went with this one, and now I'm probably going to get all my stuff off of it and sell it.
You make some money. Yeah, you will make some money off of it.
I'll make money, and then I will get better battery life, which is more important.
I mean, I guess for me, if I want better battery life, it's easy. I take the 3D slider and I move it to
no.
off.
I mean, even with the 3D slider off, if there's no 3D panel or any of the extra hardware there's no extra power.
Oh yeah, but that the power on that is what, negligible, like an hour or two.
Well, the thing that I really appreciate about this new console, I appreciate the design. That's one thing.
I love the design. I will say it's better than the 3DS.
The design, it's the most, like I said, it's the most beautiful Nintendo handheld since the DS Lite.
Yep.
And I loved my DS Lite. I regret to this day trading it in. But this console reminds me very much of, I had a dark blue DS Lite. It's the very dark midnight blue. It reminds me of it with the black and the blue accent.
Mm-hmm.
It's the screen is not, the screen is, one thing that really bugged me about the previous one is the screen was raised. So the screen would leave an indentation on the upper screen when you closed it, right? It was just a thing. It was just a design thing. They've done away with that because the screen is no longer raised within that. So it's like, the screen is recessed now, which is awesome. It makes this. I think this is the best. I hate to say this is the best 3DS that's ever come out because it's a 2DS. There's no 3D in it, but it is the epitome of what I think the 3DS.
It looks better than the 3DS.
This is its final form. And sometimes the best thing to do is to cut the thing you think everyone cared about, which was the 3D.
You're probably right. They probably had statistics just saying people weren't using the 3D as much as they thought.
And I think this thing is custom made for the American and European market.
I agree.
But that's a weird thing in the Switch catalog now. It's like they are still doing it, but I think that maybe Fire Emblem Echoes is it.
That's the last big game on the horizon.
It's PS4 exclusive, all right? Let's not get it confused here. Soon we won't have any words to say. All the words will be hijacked by major franchises. So yeah, we're talking about that. So here's the last question. We've talked about this a little bit. Third party.
Yep.
Is a big one, and that's largely attributed to why the Wii U didn't succeed. And I think the Wii was the poison pill that started that, right?
Yeah.
Third parties just didn't sell on there.
Like some people forget that. Yes, the Wii is one of the best selling consoles ever, but don't read into the sales specifically for the Wii. Like people
it had a 40% attachment rate, which is abysmally low. That means that 60% of the people who bought it never bought a game other than Wii Sports.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, don't get yourself twisted in that whole like, oh, it made so much money. Like, it wasn't as big of a hit as a console as other people thought. But yeah.
So that begs the question: has Nintendo returned to relevance as they were? I would say maybe around the GameCube era. I know the GameCube era was considered a failure for a lot of people, but at least back then, people considered it one of the big three. Now I think we're down to the big two, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to consoles. Does this bring Nintendo back to relevancy? Like, I bought Puyo Puyo Tetris on it over PS4. That's kind of telling. And at what point do we reach where it's like, oh, the ability to take it with me and Will to be able to play at the same time on the same screen with two different controllers, is that enough to make this a player with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One? Are they relevant in that way, or are they still going to be the weird child in the back that's like, you want Mario? Psh, where you going to go, buddy? You ain't got nowhere. You got to come to me.
In a year, they may be relevant again. Beyond, like, Mario, Zelda, that kind of stuff. My whole thing is, once we get past all the ports and we start getting into new hardware, not new hardware, but new titles coming out for it.
New Nintendo Switch.
Yes,
fuck me, God, come on.
Oh, Jesus, kill me now. No, yeah, no, none of that. What I will say is, once we get like new titles coming out for it, boatloads of indies on it, I think, then yes, it will be an indie monster. I think the PS4 and the Xbox One, regardless of 4K or 4K, they won't be able to keep up.
I think Nintendo's on the right track, regardless. I think what some pundits and other journalists and media say, like, oh, Nintendo, they're still being Nintendo and still making Nintendo moves. I think the Nintendo Switch and what they've done has been a very different pivot from the Nintendo that we've seen the past couple of years. I think they have learned some of their lessons, and I hope they continue that. Like the fact that they had a single Nintendo Direct on nothing but indie games was telling enough. That would have never happened in the Wii U era ever. The fact they have a lot of new games, I think the Switch will be a strong place for indie games. I like personally me. I'm Rhyme is coming out this month in May. I'm really trying to decide on whether I want to get that on PlayStation 4 or Nintendo Switch. Honestly, I may get it on PlayStation 4 only because it's coming on that first. The Switch version is still out. Like, it doesn't come out this month.
Switch.
But like having that same thing with Puyo Puyo Tetris, having conversations like that. Do I want to take it on the go, or do I want to keep it on my console and have extra power? You look at the games for Puyo Puyo Tetris, it doesn't matter. Like this, both consoles run it at top.
Listen, I want my super cute anime characters who throwing Puyo Puyos and Tetraminos everywhere. I want them in high fidelity.
Switch.
But it
stop with your subliminal.
But I think they're on the right path. I don't think they're there just yet because of because I think of a couple of things for stock issues. I think when they're putting up numbers, these aren't rookie numbers, okay? These
are real big boy numbers.
And I think people are still watching. Yes, we're 2 months in, but I think they're wanting to see, especially throughout this year. There are still unanswered questions, like we talked about the games library for this console, which I'm sure we'll hear more about at E3.
Yep.
What their fall's going to look like.
They're not doing E3 again, but they're going to do it.
Well, yeah, they're Nintendo Direct, and I'm sure a Treehouse thing there on the E3 floor. The online component, which people have forgotten. You got to remember, you want to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe online in the fall. Guess what?
Yeah,
you're going to need to sign up for that, and that could affect, depending on what the route they go with that and how that's implemented. That could affect how the Switch does. Now, I know that we all know it's going to be cheaper than PS Plus.
Yeah.
And games with cold, which I'm sure is going to be a big boon for people. Oh, they're going to see that and say, oh, it's cheaper, but they've got to have that value in there. I think wasn't there a big thing about like you get a classic Nintendo game for that month,
yeah,
and then it disappears. I think that's kind of weird.
But that's still value proposition, though.
That's true.
Well, because you still get access to a game.
But if I think that if you get access to that game, but if they bring in the virtual console around the fall time frame, it won't matter, because it'd be like, oh, give it a taste and then buy it on the virtual console.
Well, yeah, I think that the way. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say. So here's the thing, though. Even what if I didn't have the coin to buy it, but because I got it part of the digital stuff, instead of letting it sit in my library and never playing it, I'm now kind of motivated to play that game.
Oh yeah, I'm that's part of the.
I think the
reason.
way you do that is virtual console. Super Metroid is November's pick. Normally $10. It's $7.99.
Yeah, you put it on sale, or if you're...
So it's like, you can play it for free. At the end of this month, it will go back up to $9.99, and it will be you would sell me on Metroid at that point. Because sales on Nintendo games are so rare,
yeah,
that the fact I can play it, it's basically a demo. That then I can say, oh, if you play for 20 hours, you can then buy the game and it's yours for good.
Yeah. But I don't think Nintendo is at the point yet where it's at the table with the PS4 and the Xbox One, but I think that the Nintendo Switch has made the best case ever for your secondary console. If for people who don't have a lot of money and they're like, I either have a PlayStation 4 or I have an Xbox One and I want a second console, like we've always said it before, people always get like, they have their exclusive first party lineup. The Nintendo Switch has been the mainstay case, even against maybe some handhelds, to get like, I have the Xbox One and I'm going to get the Nintendo Switch. So I can play those games on the go, and I'm going to get access to all of Nintendo's lineup. I think the big thing is that if Nintendo learns from its mistakes of the past to push itself to where now people are like talking about the Nintendo Switch in the same breath as the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And, maybe there are some people, dumbasses, that are too hung up on graphic power they won't see that, but power is in everything. We've talked about that at length on here. Like, just because a game runs at 900p and another version runs at 1080p doesn't mean shit.
No, it means the 1080p is superior, right?
Get out of here. Get out of this room.
Did I just see that number drop below 60 frames per second? Throw it out. Put it in the acid
8K
bath.
gaming.
But those people are on PC. They're not.
PC Master Race, okay.
Yeah, they're the PC Master Race, and they're gonna sit in their huts, and they're gonna occasionally they come out of the hut to shake their hands at the sky, curse the consoles holding us back, and then they'll go back in their hut and play more Dota.
A game that has no graphics requirements at all.
That's been fucking out for over 20 years. It's all right. You need power for that. Anyways, continue. We're done throwing.
What, like 64 gigs of RAM to be able to run Dota now?
Yeah, I need it.
But
I drop those frames. I'm going esports, baby.
But I think Nintendo's on the right track. I think they just questions that haven't been answered need to be answered by E3. I
want to piggyback off of that. The Nintendo Switch is still a huge question mark block. For me, I am very, very adamant about platform. I don't think that enough people talk about platform enough. It's one of the reasons I love Xbox so much is because they're very frequent with their platform updates and just the way the system works. I found out, like, this is just a small example. I found out that you can only automatically upload your game saves with PlayStation Plus on your home console. Everywhere else you have to manually do it. I'm like, what? Like, that's weird. Because on Xbox, you just sign in and your game saves are there. There's no auto-upload anything. You don't have to pay for cloud storage. It's just part of your service. So that was weird. But anyways, that means platform is very important to me. I bought Puyo Puyo Tetris. I panicked when I bought it digitally because what happens if my Switch dies? It's gone. It's gone forever. I get to buy it again. And I can't believe that Nintendo has not addressed this yet. They have the Nintendo Network. They have this partnership with DNA. They just need to come out and say, like, E3 needs to be a huge-ass update coming in the fall for the Nintendo 3DS. This update will enable the online system to be paid. Sure, whatever the fuck that's going to look like. Announce it then. It is going to enable the ability for you to sync your game saves to the cloud. Right? So if you lose your Switch, you don't lose your game saves. It will allow you to register the games to your account. So if you buy a new Switch, I don't have to do a stupid transfer process. I just sign in and it's there. If you want to do the Apple thing and be like 5 device limit or whatever, that's fine because I know that you don't want people to be able to share.
PlayStation does that too. I think it's like 5 or I think it's 5.
That's fine, but like there needs to be like if my Switch falls in a lake, I shouldn't have to rebuy and lose everything. Like you don't know how stressful it is to play Zelda and think like, wow, if I leave this somewhere, I'll lose all my hours of Zelda gameplay.
Yep,
that's super duper sucks. I also think that there's just some bare minimum like being a portable device. There is a lot of things. I love their new interface, but there are a lot of things that are super duper unintuitive. Just about the interface. Like I love the way you wake it up, but there's no way to lock it. Right? Like what if someone does steal it? Free Switch. There's no way to lock it.
Like you can't have a passcode or something.
You can't have a passcode. They can come in. They can say erase all data. It is untraceable, untrackable, unlockable, and it's gone. It's dead. Right? And so I feel like this is the time for them to just start cleaning shit up. Like, make your platform good. Like, this is your last platform, quote unquote. Like, this is the end all be all of your mobile console strategy that you've been working on for probably close to a decade now. Make it right. Like, don't do this bullshit you've always done where it's like, oh, gotta buy Mario again. Like, make this the last time I fucking buy Super Mario World. Please. Please.
Oh, God, yes. Please.
And I hope that the delays in the Virtual Console are because they are retroactively tying them into the 3DS.
Not just the 3DS, but the Wii U.
I think that if you bought Super Mario World on the Wii U, you're probably gonna have to buy it again. But like you bought Super Mario World on
3DS,
new 3DS,
and it's on my Nintendo Network ID account.
Like
so
that
like
should be
like they know I've purchased
Nintendo
it.
Network ID also was on the Wii U.
It was, but like the Wii U, Nintendo has obviously shown they don't give a fuck about Wii U owners because they said, you know what? Thanks for buying our old console that was shit. You're going to buy the new one and all the old games previously, too. Super Mario Deluxe. We put battle mode that should have been in there from the beginning. $60, please. Pre-order now. Get it at Target for the free Rubik's Cube.
Hey, Seth, stop your shit.
Can't with you, Nintendo.
Calm your shit.
Pre-order now.
You're killing Cam. Stop.
Get the keychain. $10 more for Puyo Puyo Tetris on a fucking cartridge that tastes like garbage.
Seriously, you need to stop. The Dragon Balls can't be used again for another year. You're killing him.
As a Nintendo, I love you, man, but like it's time to like I can tell you're being a grumpy teenager, but you've been being a grumpy teenager for 20 years. It's time to grow up. Puberty is over. You can't be the person who's 35 years old still wearing their Letterman jacket. It is time to be an adult. It is time to have cloud saves. It is time to have an account that syncs your shit.
In 2017, yeah.
Sorry, in rant. That's the end of my rant.
Yeah.
But you're going to build a thing like a phone, make it act like a phone. If I download Angry Birds on my new phone, it's free.
I think we'll see some of that. Again, and we talked about it in earlier episodes. I still feel like that console released early. Yeah. And I think they're taking the time until fall to build up. And maybe it's like they're taking the feedback and they're building on that. Maybe they already had the plans in place. They just like, we'll roll it out slowly. Maybe it's better that it rolls out slowly than all at once, so it's not a complete shit show.
I also think during the holidays, there should be an action. It's basically like a forklift, but on the side it has a cannon, and Miyamoto is in the forklift, smiling as he just spins in circles and launches switches out of it. Like this, whatever the supply bullshit that they're doing here, they got some people in Japan. They're like, release another 12, send them over, let them fight. I saw one on the shelf. yesterday, and I was
Whoa!
I was like, oh,
and you
man.
didn't immediately like buy it just to sell it on eBay for double the price?
You see, I have a heart and a soul, and I know that there's some child out there, and actually, I mean by that, some neckbeard who's like, I'm going to sell it on eBay. So, whatever, hope they enjoy it. But, like, they need to have that resolved by then. And that's why I think this is an early launch. They're letting everyone who's a Nintendo Super fan buy it, test it, make sure it works. Then...
Yeah, we're the beta group.
Then...
We are the beta group.
Such as the launch
Miyamoto will
of
be on the
every
launcher.
console.
The Switch launcher.
No, it needs to have like cannons in every direction, and he just needs to be firing constantly and rotating.
Yeah.
So you can see everyone.
Here's my holiday theory, right? They're never going to make a Zelda pack-in. I thought that they would. That is not going to happen. They want you $60 for Zelda.
They know that they're going to sell
They'll
that.
do
so-
an
They know they're
ARMS
gonna sell
pack in. That's what they'll do.
So my theory is either
yeah.
ARMS or 1-2 Switch, as well as Splatoon 2, will be the holiday bundle.
I feel it's going to be Mario.
No.
That's $65 they're missing
We're gonna
right
launch
there.
a new game and give it to you for free if you buy the console.
Oh, they're not going to give it to you for free. It's going to be like how much is the console now?
$349.
$349. It's
Well,
going to
the console's $299, but it would be
be
$349.
$349. You'll save $10 if you buy the console with Mario.
But that's $10 they didn't make. Look at 100% attachment rate for a not packed-in game.
No,
but then-
102%.
Then they're going to buy Zelda, and then they're going to probably buy some other game. They're going to get 1-2 Switch. I don't know.
Remember, gotta get your extra Joy-Cons. Gotta get your charging cradle.
And now we got new color Joy-Cons. How does that make you feel, too?
Neon yellow. Yeah.
I will start to loosen my wallet when I start to get the themed ones.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what kind of theme?
Like Pokemon. Like, listen, when you come out with your Pokemon game, here's what you're going to do. Listen. Are you ready, Nintendo?
You can have Pikachu
are you
yellow
ready for the money?
Joy-Cons.
If you make fucking Pikachu yellow Joy-Cons and pack that shit into your Sun and Moon up-res remake, whatever the hell you're going to launch in 2 years on the Nintendo Switch, and you make that $99.99, boy, I will give you one Benjamin Franklin directly into your account so that I can snap that shit onto the side, and I will literally eat my 2 Joy-Cons.
We will stream it live on Twitch.
I will eat them whole as a lesson to everyone, and this should have been what came on the Switch.
Oh, man. I can't wait to see that. Yeah,
I will literally remind you about your Joy-Con eating habits.
Here's even better. Listen to this. What if you snap them in and it's intelligent and it knows that they're the Pikachu ones? So when you snap them in, you don't get the snap that you get
You get
now,
like,
but you get like the Pikachu. I would die. I would die. Like I would. It would be Death Note. It would be like snap. Like the screen would pulse and I would just and then fall over dead.
Or even better, you snap them in place, and then all of a sudden your entire OS has a Pikachu theme.
Oh. They have the technology. They can do that. I mean, the system recognizes, like, it knows what color Joy-Con you have detected on the system, so...
Nintendo, you have so much potential. You could do it. You could rule the world. You got the throne of bones, baby. You now have the bones. All you have to do is assemble the throne and then let them fight.
Remember, the footrest is the Chief's helmet.
Yeah.
I have to listen every time we talk about Nintendo. I have to take like a 2-week vacation afterwards just to like unwind from all the shit that I have to put myself through. All the potential that they have.
So what you're saying is we need to get the Elder Kai over here.
I need like to munch. I'm talking about a bowl of sensu beans, and I'm just going to heal after this. But
You need some milk and a spoon to go with that.
all right, sensuos,
No, sensu flakes.
sensu flakes.
Oh, God.
Great.
Don't give Japan any more ideas than they already have or need.
Oh, I guarantee you, Toei Animation's probably got like DBZ cereal over there
With
already.
marshmallow Super Saiyan hair.
No, it'd be marshmallow 4-star Dragon Balls.
Okay,
You get Super Saiyan
we're
here?
building it. We're gonna build it real quick. 5 marshmallows, Dragon Ball, 4-star ball, Super Saiyan hair.
Okay.
What else? Get 3 more.
A capsule. Like either a capsule
you-
corp thing or the logo.
No, a Hoi Poi capsule.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because those are important.
the Nimbus Cloud.
Yeah, you gotta have Nimbus. Mr. Popo.
Mr. Popo's face.
Yes.
That's it.
Yep.
Now, would that be Sensu Flakes or Dragonos?
Oh, God.
No, Sensu Flakes.
Sensu Flakes. All right.
It just sounds better in English. I don't know what it would be in Japanese.
Cool. Well, now that the train is at the bottom of the ravine, the rails have decayed over years of abandonment. We went off the rails long ago, and now only death and decay remain.
Rails. We nuked the rails and just kept on going.
We melted them down and turned them into more Switch hardware. So that's exactly. We needed more metal for more Switches, so got to make the holiday deadline. Anyways, that has been episode 63 of the Rocket Punch Cast. Thank you very much for joining in. As we said before, patreon.com/Rocket Punch is where you can go and contribute as little as $1 a month to get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes features. You can get bonus episodes at the $3 tier, even swag at the $5 tier. Lots of cool stuff coming up. Make sure to head into, that's patreon.com, that's patreon.com/Rocket Punch if you want to support the show and get cool stuff. If you just want to watch or listen to the cool Rocket Punch stuff, we have rocketpunchgo.com. That's where all of our content lives, free of charge and ad-free. It is awesome. You can go over there. We always make sure that site is updated with the latest and greatest from Rocket Punch. If you want to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter at RocketPunchGo, on Instagram at RocketPunchGo, on Facebook.com/RocketPunchNetwork. Those are the 3 easiest ways to interact with us there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at Darth Turner. Will?
I am at CT Gamer.
And Cameron had to step out real quick, but he is at C Kearns, Kirnes.
Yep.
So make sure to follow any of us on Twitter, and you can get JoJo's memes from me.
You're going to see me sharing all kinds of weird Nintendo stuff and whatever I find interesting, as well as firearm stuff every once in a while.
You'll see Cameron talking about Persona, PlayStation things.
Cam is the king of gifts for Rocket Punch.
He does have a lot of Rocket Punch gifts and retweets and things like that. So make sure to head over there and check all that out. As always, thank you very much to everyone for listening. Double thank you to all of our patrons out there who may be listening as well. We got your fresh bonus episodes coming up every single month. So thank you so much for listening. It's been great. And until next time, farewell.